How can you improve a floating jerkbait, especially if the water's really cold? Good morning, guys and girls. November 18, we're going to be looking at Mark 4:24. The way that you give to others is the way that God will give to you. But God will give you even more. The way you give to others is the way that God will give to you, but God will give you even more. Now, I can hang my hat on that one. We spend so much time with our grandchildren fishing, hunting, birthday parties, ball games, or just being with them. We often revolve our entire schedule around them, and we do that for sometimes 4 or 5 days in a row. We just do our entire schedule around our grandkids. No matter how much time, no matter how much attention, no matter how much love that we give, we seem to always get back more. Those of you that have grandkids, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Those of you that don't have grandkids yet, get ready. You'll be just like we are. Chris is worse than I am, and I'm the world's worst. God says it'll be that way with him. Isn't that something? God says it'll be that way with him. We cannot outgive our God. Many believing Christians have tested this. I've yet to hear one say that that's not true. I gave, and I gave, and I gave, and God didn't give me back more. Never heard one say that. Help others. See how much God will help you. Here's a good one. Increase your tithes. Increase your offerings. See what God does. Now, I've heard a lot of people say, I tried to outgive God by tithing more and giving more offerings. It didn't work. God kept giving me more. God is a rewarding God. Our God is a rewarding God. He has our greatest reward ready and waiting. It's called heaven. He's already plenty of awards to give us right here on earth as well. And he'll do that. God is a rewarding God. God is like you are with your kids. He's like you are with your grandkids. And the difference is when we have our grandkids down for 3 or 4 or 5 days and we just spoil them to death and we give them anything in the world they want, they go back home. God's got a home for us for eternity, forever and ever and ever. Here's our tip for today. You can turn a floating jerkbait into a suspending jerkbait by simply adding storm suspend dots. Storm suspend dots are little metal dots, and they've also got suspend strips that are little strips that you can put on any bait. It doesn't have to necessarily be a jerkbait. It can be a crankbait also, one that you dive down and it floats back up to the top. Now, you can buy suspended jerkbaits. You can buy suspended crankbaits. Back when I wrote this book, you couldn't do that. We had to make our own suspend, and we actually would get them and we'd put them in a bathtub or in a big sink, fill it up with water, and make it where we can put it in to stay. It wouldn't sink. It wouldn't come back to the top, because when the water's really cold and you stop that bait, when the water's cold, you don't want it floating back up to the top. You obviously don't want it sinking down. You want it to just stay right there. Suspending baits really catch fish, particularly January, February, early in the year, up March, up further north. They really work. So if you've got a bait that you really like, that you got the right color, it's got the right action, but it won't suspend, you can add suspend dots to it and make that bait suspend perfectly. Like I said, that's the other thing we did. Now, if you're fishing that time of the year also, I'm going to throw one more little tip in there. Use lighter line than you normally use. If you use 10, move down to 8. If you use 8, move down to 6. If you use 6, don't dare move down to 4. They will take all of your jerk baits away from you. Some people do. Some people will throw them even on 4-pound test line. Not me. I throw those jerk baits on a casting rod, not a spinning rod. When I put 6-pound test line on there, baby, you got to be very careful, because when you get a backlash, it pretty much craters that fishing line. But lighter line, when it's cold, going to get that bait a little bit deeper. When it stops down there, it sits there, and that bass swims up there to it, and then you wiggle it, game on. Guys and girls, have you a great one out there today. It's kind of chilly, kind of cold, but it's beautiful. Remember, I love you.